Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to the Heartland Hot Dish podcast. This is where we come to the table and rediscover the connection and meaning to our food and culinary treasures of the Great Lakes region. Join us as we discover the traditions and stories woven into the fabric of the Heartland cuisine, from the iconic dishes that define the Midwest to the hidden gems waiting to be discovered. We'll take you on a mouth-watering journey through the diverse culinary landscape of the Great Lakes area. Get ready to indulge your senses and ignite your appetite as we explore the rich tapestry of flavors that make up the Heartland Hot Dish. All right, we're back with another hot dish deep dive into the walking taco casserole. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a short one. We never really had any short ones. I'm like, this might be like a 20, 30 minutes. Because I come into this.
You always say that.
I do. And then this is going to be like, and
Never
I'm going to
happens.
cut you all off at like the hour mark. I have very little opinion because I get it. I've seen it. I'm in the
Wait,
wedding.
what have you seen when you say you've seen it?
Some version of this.
The walking taco or the walking taco casserole?
Both. The
Okay.
walking taco, very weird. I get the concept. And again, it became very like bougie catering-y, that thing, the walking taco.
Oh, because
Then
it's a
you-
little rustic and like rough
Then
around
you got
the
like
edges.
custom bags. So then it became like artsy-fartsy version of that.
So there may be folks listening who have no idea what a walking taco
Sure.
is, and they're
I
just
don't.
like, "Who's?"
Hey, Daniel, tell me what we're talking about today. or Marcy,
Right.
either of you.
Yeah. So sometimes the walking taco can be referred to as a Frito pie. Have you heard Frito pie?
I have heard of a Frito pie. I only ate my first ever Frito, the little curvy chippy thing, like the straight line one, 2 years ago.
Oh,
Ever.
Right. So Fritos is a form of chip, the founding brand of Frito-Lay, right?
Yep.
Right from Texas. The thing that I love, so we have all this great American junk food, all these great chips that are available. If you ever look at the bags or ingredient readers like I am, right, you look at the back and there's just this long laundry list of ingredients and you're thinking to yourself, do I really want to eat these? But you go to Fritos and you look at the back of the bag, 3 ingredients. Three. Corn oil, salt. Amazing. Amazing.
That's why, yeah. Delicious.
But they are super delicious,
I just
super
still don't get
crunchy,
them.
really salty, pure corn. It's like, here I am corn, hear me roar. What good?
So I did just wanted to point out.
You're not gonna let me run away with this whole thing?
I did just want to point out that the Frito chip was invented by a Oaxacan immigrant.
Oh, that's the Oaxacan.
So that's
we're
the Oaxacan tie-in.
Oaxacan taco. No, it's just a walking taco, right?
Oaxacan taco, walking taco.
So the first time I heard out about Frito pie was I was actually in Albany, and I was at this place. It was a barbecue place. It was called Capital Q, and there was a pit boss there. His name was Sean Custer. Great name for a pit boss. And he, or I guess pit master. Pit boss is the other thing. And he was out of breath, and I was like, Sean, what's going on? And he was like, I was just chasing down the Frito truck, because Fritos were not a thing that you would necessarily see in upstate New York, and he was floored to see the Frito truck, and he wanted to catch up. It was like a kid running after an ice cream truck because, like, I want what you've got inside, because he wanted to make the Frito pie of his youth. And I was like, Frito pie? What's Frito pie? And it's like
Pyrex glory.
So he's like, you take the bag of Fritos, and then the way he told it to me is you throw in some grated government cheese.
Grated government cheese.
Right. It was really government cheese, right? Grated government cheese, and you throw in a scoop of chili in there. You mix it all up,
When
and
you say a scoop of chili, what do you mean? Like a can of chili?
So it can take a lot of different forms now, right? So some people will do
I'm really
Hormel
struggling, guys. Just
canned
struggling.
Hormel chili,
Not
but
Wendy's.
Sean,
Not Wendy's chili.
you could do any kind of chili. That's a chili, right? But there is an argument that says, and there's debate about all of these foods. Where do they come from, right? There's one story that says it comes from Texas, and if it came from Texas, the chili that would go in there would be a no-bean Texas red
Correct.
chili, right?
We've had this just talk before.
Yes.
Alex Young, who started the Roadhouse, beat it into me that beans do not go with chili. They are separate things.
Only if you're a Texan.
Sure.
Right.
He must have had a Texan gene in there somehow. He was
Somewhere.
very consistent
Right.
about it.
So it depends on where you're from is going to be the consistency of your chili. And then all of the other Americanized taco toppings can have a place in here, including my personal favorite sour cream, pickled
Happy?
pickled jalapenos, salsa,
Pretty happy.
tomatoes, onions, and then if you're going to do lettuce, it's got to be that shredded iceberg because nothing is like that shredded.
So this
iceberg.
is all put together and chucked in a Pyrex.
Well, no. So the Frito pie, it all goes inside the bag, right? You're eating it inside the
bag.
Frito bag. You're opening it up with the fork, and you're just going to town with the bag like you're an animal, and the feed thing is strapped to your face. Except you get to use a fork, right? Which is different than the animals.
And a lot
So
of
it's
this-
all room temperature.
No, because the chili is hot and the chili melts the cheese.
I
Okay.
mean, well, unless you're just dumping a cannon. Which
Right. I don't know if I'd recommend that.
so this was popularized, and the theory is that it came to the Midwest because of like carnivals and fairs traveling.
Sure.
So
It is a big part, probably 4 or 5 years ago, of the catering industry did a lot of these. And you would get your little custom baggie for your wedding that had a graphic on it. You could get them printed, and you could, like, it was a very in theme thing for a while.
As a quick aside, before Marcy gets to the transition between
See, I
this
brought
and,
weddings
the,
into
and the casserole, right, is that this form has really sort of taken off. And I don't know if you've ever seen the TikTok video with Chef Jose Andres.
Mm-mm.
Right, this great Spaniard
I
chef
know who that-
of
yeah,
right,
yeah.
but not everybody does, right?
Okay, sure.
From World Kitchen, the great humanitarian brings food into conflict
With
zones.
walking tacos?
So his version of a walking taco is a Spanish version without Fritos. He uses potato chips, and instead of chili, he uses tin mussels.
That's gross.
No, it is not gross. It is magnificent. It is one of my favorite things because
Mussels are the worst.
it's the walking taco meets pommes frites. Right, it's like pommes frites. So you take the mussels, you take all their juices.
gonna mute my
It's
mic now.
Exactly right. It's marvelous. I had it for dinner the other night. You throw a little bit of hot sauce on. The hot sauce adds a bit of acidity.
Did you really?
I did. I
had-
have these all the time.
No. What?
All the time. The chips are the depending on how I'm feeling, either the salt and vinegar or the Tella-Cherry black pepper from Zingerman's.
With a can of mussels.
So and it's a small bag of the potato chips because that's the perfect portion for a single tin of mussels. I'm usually using the Patagonia spices.
Okay, so
Right, and I'm using the piri piri Portuguese hot sauce because it has the fruitiness of the piri piri, but also pear vinegar as its base. So it's got a beautiful brightness.
So there's enough of you now to know that I do love Daniel on some fundamental level on a daily basis, and then occasionally, and it's at least twice an episode, I instantly don't understand him as a human.
I'm going to
being.
bring this in.
I hate mussels.
Oh. Well,
Loathe
this
them.
is
mussels.
Ugh. Blech.
Kieran.
Blech. No, not my food.
right.
I'll eat them because I have to because I'm a chef, but bleh.
All right. Well,
Canned mussels cannot be better.
I would be interested.
I don't think I've ever had a
I-
canned
a
mussel.
tin
I
mussel.
know,
If you
like,
don't, right,
the
they're mussels.
older recipe of our mussels was like a tomato base at the Roadhouse, and I would be interested in like maybe instead of some fries, throwing some Fritos in there and giving it a whirl. But I don't know that I would actually add mussels into a Fritos bag.
No, this is a potato chip bag. So this is a potato
So
chip bag.
that's
So the
a-
potato. I
okay.
wouldn't do it in a Fritos
So,
bag.
so
That
what
would
you
be crazy.
talked about in a bag is a walking taco,
Is a walking taco.
but a walking taco casserole.
That's what Marcy was going to explain.
Go.
Well, no, I'm still talking about the walking taco.
Oh! I thought you
Oh.
were talking about sort of how it came
No.
to Michigan and no.
Well, yeah, we're still talking about the walking tacos.
Okay, all right, very good.
Because people were walking around fairs
Sure.
eating out of the bag, right? And so like there's
like savages.
this isn't confirmed, but people think like so the
This
mother
this long history of walking
yeah, walking
tacos.
tacos, the mother of the founder of the Frito company, whose name was Daisy Dean Doolin. Like
That is a phenomenal name.
Daisy Dean Doolin. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah. Just rolls off the tongue. But she liked to tinker with recipes involving Fritos, one of them being the Fritos fruit cake, which included candied fruits, pecans, and crushed Fritos. But so they actually potentially credit this woman with the invention of the walking taco, potentially. But there are others later. There's
And you've seen the sideways bags now, right?
I have heard of them. I
They
don't
exist.
know.
So my kid, I don't know if this was on mic or not. My kid brought home Doritos, not I understand there is a difference. But they brought home Doritos in a sideways bag in order to do the same thing. And he wanted me to make walk-in tacos from it.
I think that's brilliant.
And then in 1950s, in the 1950s, there's a woman who worked at a Five and Dime, a teenager who came up with the idea of selling these at the counter. So this is as early as 1950s that this became a thing at a Five and Dime in Santa Fe. And then somewhere around 1980 in the World's Fair in Knoxville, there is a guy who started pushing it. And so then this is when potentially it started walking to other fairs and carnivals like through up into the Midwest. Made its way up into Minnesota and kind of traveled over. And then, of course, you have those of us, from Michigan and around the Midwest, around the Great Lakes region who love a good casserole. So there you have it. I would imagine this is how it ended up as a casserole. Now, I grew up eating taco casserole, but I don't remember the Fritos. The Doritos were something that we like to throw in there, but Frito pie is something that was kind of like a little bit newer to me when I was researching this.
In America, I struggle because I have to deal with cups and quarts and pounds and ounces still, and so constantly I'm trying to convert everything to grams. Anyone I meet, I convert it to grams. So I went on a Fritos website, and I'm just like, tell me the Frito chip walk-in taco recipe. They have a different way to measure things. Do you know what their measurement is?
No.
Number of pumps.
Oh.
Pumps?
So it says, open a bag of Fritos, corn chips, pump 2 or 3 pumps of chili from the dispenser. Then add 2 or 3 pumps
wrong.
of cheese sauce, followed by jalapenos. I'm like,
That just
what's a
sounds-
pump?
What?
So
Americana at its very best right there. I would like how many pumps of cheese?
when I was in college, I I was in Philadelphia.
Who has a pump of cheese sitting on their counter right now?
Oh,
Rick?
so
You
right.
did.
Well, so no, it wasn't at home. But when I was in college in Philadelphia, there was a convenience store out there called Wawa, and I lived off of their chili cheese dogs. But they don't sell them as chili cheese dogs; they just sell them as hot dogs. And there were coupons for 2 for $1 of the hot dogs, so I get 2 of them. And then they would have the pumps of the chili and the pumps of the cheese. And yeah, and I was just looking to stave off starvation, so I was going for as many calories per dollar as I could.
110%.
Yes.
I respect that world all day long. I just think that it's wonderful that it is now a pump. I guess I've never really minded the idea. When I first came to the US, which is why I said I don't really have an experience here, is I didn't really like any kind of corn chip when it got soggy. I'm like, a chip's a chip. It should be crispy. Why am I putting wet ingredients on top of my crisps? You just want me to eat soggy crisps.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so
Mhm.
anyone who knows me for a long time, when I first got here, is like, I do not like soggy crisps. I want crispy crisps. Why would I put casserole things on top of my crispy crisps?
Well,
and
no, you
not-
put the crispy crisps on top.
What? No.
Yes.
What?
Well, here's where we're gonna go, and we're gonna go
Well,
through
if
the
y-
we're
if
gonna
you're-
go through the recipe,
if
and we're
you're
gonna
making a
talk about the
casserole.
how would, because this is what we do when we do our deep dish our
We're-
casserole deep dive.
We're diving
really
deep.
quick.
diving
To be
deep.
clear, I said this might be a 10-minute episode. We're now 15 minutes in, and I
So
fear
re-
this is going to go on
Really
forever.
quick before we dive in, you guys, I just wanted to mention this other thing I found. So, a newer version of this, which I think was popularized in New Mexico and then also spread to the Midwest, Dora Locos and Tosta Locos, which is basically the same concept. You get a bag of Doritos or you get a bag of Tostitos and you add lime juice, hot sauce, jicama, mango, pineapple, pickled pig skin, chili powder, and Japanese peanuts. I really kind of want to try this. I'm not
I
going to
couldn't
lie.
even lead into the mic to make a comment. One, those are so many ingredients most people don't have in their cup. I need some pickled pig skin and some jicama today, please, because I'm adding it to my Doritos. You're what? You're doing what to your Doritos? Okay.
Jicama is so good, by the way.
I do love
Right. I do love
jicama salad.
jicama.
Love a jicama salad.
Yep.
Very delicious. It's just like, you know what I don't have in my fridge right now is some jicama. Go with my bag of Doritos I currently have in my house. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Listen,
Daniel, tell me the recipe.
Well, so it really depends on on where we're going for the recipe. But let's go with the Simply recipe. Simple simply recipes version of this because there are so many different recipes and variations that are out there. I think the ingredients of this are going to be fairly obvious, right? 2 tablespoons neutral oil, 1 white onion diced, 4 cloves garlic finely minced, a pound of 80.
Are you using the slap chopper to chop the onions? Please tell me we're using a slap chopper.
You can use this.
Yes.
Right. This is where I fall out of love with Kieran.
As a chef, I
professional
want
chef who
a slap chopper.
You say that, but
still want to own a
I don't
slap
think
chopper.
you do. I think you're going to be very disappointed with it. All right, so
3 slaps, salsa. 4 slaps, 5 dice.
4 cloves of
3
garlic.
pumps, 3
Right.
slaps.
Yes. I like that the ground beef is specified to be the 80-20, right? I think
They're
that's
very particular.
I think that's good, right? Like I would prefer it to be from the Chuck or something.
I just want one of these recipes to say Cincinnati chili, and then I give up and walk out the room.
Oh, right.
The
Right.
mic traps.
Yeah, I still think one of my favorite beef recipes is when Marcella has on for her bolognese. It says to get from the chuck to get it ground to order from the neck end of the chuck. Very specific. I appreciate that level of specificity.
Is
Okay.
it more gelatinous?
It's fattier. So 1 scallion finely diced, 15-ounce can of pinto beans, a can of Rotel original diced tomatoes and green chilies, 1 cup thick and chunky salsa, salt and black pepper to taste, 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese plus more if needed. And this is where I sort of get sort of funny about the cheese because who measure you cheese you measure from the heart, right? That's my personal belief. And then 9-ounce bag of Fritos corn chips.
How big is this thing?
It's the standard. It's the standard
normal
casserole.
bag.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we're in the casserole land.
No, we're doing casserole. Right.
I'm
This
like,
is not the giant bag
It's
of
a family size bag.
no, well, this is why it's great as a casserole because you can make it for a whole bunch of people, and that way you don't have to order it.
Does it say that it needs to go in a glass Pyrex? Because I hope it does.
Let's see. So it's going to be the sour cream, pickled jalapenos, diced scallions, and shredded lettuce for topping. And even though they say shredded lettuce, I know they mean iceberg lettuce.
Okay.
Right. So, and they also say, right, you can prepare the casserole ahead of time. Prepare the meat and bean filling up to 2 days ahead and store in the refrigerator, which I think is really prudent. And I think this is the fun chef conversation about, because I don't know I've always heard about it melding, and I know that it works, right? I know that there are certain things that when you make them ahead of time, serve them the next day, they're just going to taste better.
It's to think of it like a brine. If you've never had a brine thing, and then you've had a brine, like a brined piece of meat versus a not brined piece of meat, it means the flavors are fully melded together in a good way.
Yeah.
It is well worth it. The larger the piece, the better it is, the longer it is. Anything that can rest and be reheated is a good thing. And now, at least in science, they've shown that any of the starches that you're going to eat, it is better to have made it, cooled it, and heated it up. And
Yes.
that it's harder for your stomach to digest it, which means it's working harder, which means it's better for you. So if you're going to have white rice because you don't want to have brown rice, cook it, chill it, eat it later. Okay, so we've let in a very classy way, let our meat rest in the fridge and get flavorsome.
Because eventually we've made the chili first,
Okay.
right? But the way that they recommend making the chili, and you probably have thoughts on how to make chili as well.
I do. It's interesting. At the farm, I told Tabitha I wanted us to have our own chili as a Brit at a wedding venue. I'm like, we're never going to use it, but I wouldn't mind having my chili recipe because I don't think I have one. The ancho beef chili, chuck chili, that's at the Roadhouse, its recipe is exceptionally good. When it is made right, it is one of the best things I've ever eaten. I love our
And was that your recipe, or was that?
No, not at all. I
that
think
was
that's an
inherited.
Yeah, that's an inherited one. It's exceptionally good. I would just like to have a really good, and I will put beans in it in fighting my education.
Sure. Yeah.
And I just want a really good chili recipe because I always hear Tabitha, my business partner, always oh, we had chili tonight. And I'm like, I don't really have a chili recipe. And chili cook-offs and all of that Americano, I feel like I've missed out on it. So, yes, I do know how to make a chili. And we, when I was at the Roadhouse, they have, it used to be Tuesday. Was it Tuesday?
It's still Tuesday.
Yeah, so
where
the
we
blue
do
plate chili. And so every week, it would make you want to do yourself in at the end because you just couldn't deal with it anymore. You had to make a new chili recipe. And at some point over the years, you run out of research.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't want to do any more
That's
chilies.
when you just keep making Cincinnati chili.
Thank you for bringing it back.
But I would like the right blend. I would like to have my own chili, and it would probably be like some South African flavors in there. Like I would want to have some internationally herb or spice in there.
See, every time I make chili, it's different because I just do it based off of what I've got around and the quantities of what I've got,
Sure.
right? Like it's the idea of, right? And so the way that, Simply Recipes suggests, right, you start with the skillet, medium heat, you add the oil, you saute the garlic and the onion, still soft and translucent, right? You're building a flavor base. It makes a lot of sense. You cook the meat, right? You add the beef, or if you want to use a beef substitute, you put it in the pan, you break it into bite-sized pieces with a wooden spoon, saute for 6 to 8 minutes until nicely browned. You're getting a Maillard reaction. Now, they're using ground beef, but you can also, other chili recipes, right, will use things
like small cut chuck or large cut piece of meat.
Yeah, or other large cut pieces of meat, and you can use other types of cuts of beef that are also good for braising if you're going to braise it for a long time, right? Let's see. So there's a note that says if your taco seasoning does not have salt added, you can add a salt to the meat, which is interesting because somewhere in this recipe they don't talk about sprinkling in the taco seasoning, but clearly that goes in there. It's supposed to go in there with the beef and the onion mixture once it's.
I like, though, how it says, if your taco seasoning does not have added salt, add a generous pinch of salt to the meat. Generous. Be generous with the salt.
Yes, and this is the other piece too, where people who are at home don't salt their food enough for the most part.
Correct.
That the secret to restaurant food, the reason why it's so good, is because there's lots of salt and lots of butter and more than you're using at home.
Yep.
Right.
Double it.
Right. And when you're using salt right, the food doesn't taste salty. It just tastes better. If it tastes salty, you're using too much, and you can then you can always add more. You can't take it away.
Yep.
But if you do add a little bit too much salt, there are ways of mitigating that. I think my favorite way of mitigating a little bit too much salt is adding some acid in there to balance it. Also, maybe sometimes a little bit of sugar. But do you have other little?
Boiled potatoes that haven't had salt in the salt water at all, and just mixing them in, and it sucks in the salt like a sponge.
But that works in a liquid base. Would that work?
Unsalted potatoes.
Right. Would that work? Would that work in a sort of sauteed ground beef?
100%.
Oh, look at
you
that.
chuck them in there.
Right.
Yes, it's going to break down a little bit, and I'm not like overcooked potatoes, but they're like little salt sponges, and they suck. So it's good in soups, it's good in sauces, it's good in meats. If you've got a braise that's too much, boiled up potatoes that aren't quite all the way cooked, and throw them in there and just mix them around.
Gotcha.
More surface area, the better. Not overcooked. You don't want to add mashed potatoes.
Yep. Right. So
Top
the meat's
tips.
right. If you're doing this all on the same day, you're going to preheat the oven to.
Does it say the
350.
spice mix, or it's just saying taco seasoning?
It's saying taco seasoning as opposed
Listed in the ingredients. Yeah.
as taco seasoning, but you can also just make up your own stuff of what. Right. If I were making chili at home, I would be using some sort of combination. I would usually start with a chili powder, which has a lot of stuff in there, and I would just add in other stuff that sounds good, and maybe some other additional ground anchos. If I had whole chilies, I might be doing some of that stuff too.
We just did an Ecuadorian dinner with
Cumin is great.
with Paula, and she was a chote paste in everything, and we
Oh,
were
right.
and got very. I got some very good stuff for it in, and I've been using it a ton at home now as a.
There is
ingredient. It's
a
probably going to
link
stick away.
here. If you want to make homemade, there's a link to a recipe for it.
Yeah, you've got
It's
things
gonna
like
be
paprika, cayenne, cumin, garlic,
Cumin,
onion, oregano.
coriander,
Yeah.
Oregano.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. So I'm not so sure about some of these next things. It says reduce the heat to medium low. We're at the in the skillet still. Stir in the taco seasoning. Scallions and pinto beans. I would not put scallions in this early into any
Yeah,
recipe.
scallions are a late thing. The other one that was interesting is that's not in there. So they've got coriander in the spice mix. You could put cilantro in there to cook down. Cooking cilantro as an herb, as a cooking ingredient, is a really interesting thing.
And you would also do that earlier?
I do that
later?
earlier. I'm not trying to
Gotcha.
get the freshness. So
Gotcha, right.
so that's the interesting thing. I think, like, yes, you're right, as scallions for me. But I think because with onions, I want caramelization, I want the sweetness, whereas I want the sharpness from the scallions. But cooked cilantro is very different.
Oh, interesting.
It's a really fun ingredient to add in, and especially if you're making a sauce and you just add it, cook it, braise it down, and blitz it. So when we made this dinner, this Ecuadorian dinner, Paulo basically just used it constantly as an ingredient and not as a finisher. I don't think we use hardly any cilantro as a finisher.
Interesting.
Which was very different experience of what it did to the dishes. Sorry.
See, you have that's
I
not
had a
apologize
very,
at all. Right,
I
you're
was
right.
like, wow, this is a eye-openingly different experience.
And
of
you
cilantro.
have things to add to this
I
episode.
do have something to add.
I knew you would.
Not very much.
I was not worried.
Yep.
Right. So then we're adding the rotel and the salsa. We're simmering for 8 to 10 minutes or until the flavors have melded. I feel like the salsa is it's interesting to do. I don't know if that's kind of needed since you've got onions already. You've got the tomatoes, right? The salsa it's going to add some more depth. It's going to add another layer. That's fine, right?
I think it's that nice crunchy, like you get a little bit of like a semi-pickled onion and tomato, and like you get a pickly flavor.
a little
in
bit
there.
more salt, a
Yeah.
little bit more acid, right?
Yep.
Right, and then there's additional salt and pepper to taste. At this point, it's looking like chili, and it's also in this case it's serving as the liquid, so you're not using any sort of beef broth, or anything like that.
Yep.
Which is interesting. I would probably put in some sort of broth just to have a little bit of collagen and depth in body.
110%.
Right. I would use my stocks.
Use some MSG too.
That's
Or
right.
nutritional yeast, which I do love on everything.
Right.
Might season with some nutritional yeast later on.
You could even throw in a parm rind, I was thinking.
Ooh.
I know.
Bougie.
The other thing that I really like, because you were thinking MSG, because we're thinking about how to increase the umami. The other thing that I really like, in chilies is Worcestershire because it's got the anchovy. But you could also throw, and I would do the straight up Worcestershire. But you could also, put an anchovy in early, or you could use garum colatura if you had that around and not the Worcestershire. But I can't think of very many households in America that would have garum and not Worcestershire.
So I do feel like once you've added the canned tomatoes and everything in there, that kind of creates the
Umami.
Well, no, the liquid.
Oh, sure.
As opposed to adding stock. I feel like if you add stock, it's just going to be too soupy.
I want my beef.
Well, you cook it
I
down
want
until
my
it gets to the
beefier-
right texture.
I want my beefier flavor. Beef flavor.
Right.
You're getting the beef flavor from
Right, and you could add some mushrooms for the beef flavor too, right?
Ooh.
And umami, right? That also works.
Some nice rehydrated. some nice
mushrooms in a
protein.
taco casserole?
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
kidding
good.
me?
Hey, I've never not once in my life eaten one, so who cares? I'm freewheeling over here.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely not.
I'll add some ranch seasoning
All right.
on the top.
So we're adding the toppings. So we've got the preheated oven. We're transferring the taco mixture into a 9 by 13 inch casserole dish, and we're spreading it in an even layer. And then we're topping it with the cheddar cheese, and then 2 cups of Frito chips plus more if desired.
When we say Frito chips, what do we mean? Are we talking about the little-
standard
like the
issue
strippy
Frito ones,
the
yes,
strippy
right, not
ones.
the big fat thick
or
ones,
the dippers,
or the dippers,
or the
right.
The
triangle.
dippers, do they
weird-
have like hot, spicy versions?
I'm sure they do.
Yes,
I do appreciate that chip does have very few ingredients.
3.
Yeah, it's
Right.
very impressive.
It's
It actually is.
amazing.
Yes.
Right.
Oaxacan.
Wow.
Oh yeah, ooh, chili cheese.
That will have more than 3 ingredients. So we bake
Flamin'
for
hot. Flamin' hot Fritos.
I think you make them flaming hot with some chili powder. So anyway, we then bake it for 10 minutes or until the cheese is nicely melted.
Okay.
Huzzah! And that's it. And then to serve, you're going to top it with the additional dollops of sour cream, pickled jalapenos, scallions, shredded lettuce. Divide among plates and enjoy.
Yep.
See, I fundamentally don't hate the idea. It's just Misogi crisps. I just don't want Misogi
But
crisps.
they're no soggy crisps because they're on the top.
But they got soggy.
Oh,
Why would I not
Right.
just eat them with a chip? Like chip in the dip.
because part of the casserole whole thing
No.
and the hot dish is we're putting the starches on the top.
Right.
Right,
We're
we have a
famous-
variety of textures.
So
We're gonna-
our chip is our starch.
yes, it's corn.
Unless you want to do a tater tot.
Do you want to call corn a vegetable?
No, it's a tool to eat it with. Is how I feel about the chip.
Right, but in this case,
I get
Right.
the concept. I just want my soggy chips.
so there's going to be a little. So it's going to be a variety of textures, right? So you're going to have that meaty, saucy thing on the bottom. There will be some part where the chips break down,
Is
where
this
they're
a spoon
touching.
or a fork that I'm consuming this item with?
I feel like that's between you and your God. My family and I have this debate all the time about and I think it also will depend upon the thickness of your
I'll be
chili.
so happy no matter what, and maybe I really need to make this. I will be so happy because I'll just get my dollop of sour cream and everything will be better.
Yes,
My thoughts will go to happy places. Are we using daisies?
I like daisies.
Okay.
Right. Well, because sometimes the local small sour cream. Oh my gosh! I was just in California and we were having a New Mexican chili feast with my friends who had spent some time in New Mexico, and the one thing we did not have was sour cream. So I ran out to this local market. Turned out to be this Eastern European market, and I was like, oh well, this will be perfect because they'll have some sour creams there. And they had two different brands. The one I was immediately attracted to was called Grandma's Sour Cream. It had Cyrillic on the carton. I pulled it out. I looked at the back of it, and it had guar gum and carrageenan in it, just like Grandma used to make. No. But then they had this other, bougie organic one, and it, was just the things that you would expect to be in sour cream. So if you're buying sour cream, please,
Yeah, look at
the ingredients.
Complicated.
Right, there shouldn't be any gums. There shouldn't be any thickeners. Right, the cream and the cultures should be enough to thicken it all on its own.
Okay.
Right. And that way you're going to make sure, and it's not because this stuff is going to kill you or any of this other stuff. I don't think it's going to give you cancer, but what it will do is leave this really gummy taste in your mouth.
It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you taste the other things. It like covers up your taste buds.
Right. And if you're using something without it, then the sour cream is going to be really light. And it's going to be vibrant. It's going to be acidic. Right. And it's really going to help accentuate the dish.
And if you would like a healthier option, Greek yogurt.
Yeah, well, we
don't. I don't know if that's healthier. Well, because again, right, depends on the Greek yogurt. Some of the Greek yogurt's going to be thickened with carrageenan. I have a really bone to pick with a lot of Greek yogurts because Greek-style yogurt should be strained, but sometimes they're thickened with other things.
I feel like this casserole, though, like other casseroles we've talked about, like the tater tot casseroles and things, I can imagine eating it as my main meal, and that's my meal, and I'm super happy. Like dinner time with the family.
That's what this is for.
No, see, this casserole I feel is like a group strolling casserole. This is not, I'm having dinner tonight.
No, because is it because we've talked about it as walking taco first, and you're just like
strolling
with it?
I just got a bag of chips. I just got some chips with some chili on the top. I'm like, this is a snack.
And they do have like options with tater tots instead of Fritos.
No, but like I need a bit of a heavier starch, and maybe the chips. It's because I don't have a lot of love. Like deep-rooted love of
I feel like you just need more Fritos.
You
need 2 bags of Fritos.
We've talked about this when we talked about the history of casseroles. You guys like chips, whether they're like potato or whatever, have always been like a topping ingredient for these casseroles starting in the 40s and 50s. Like it was always like an option as opposed to just
I'm on the struggle
frozen
bus.
tater tots. Yeah, I hear you, but it does add crunch, and there is something appealing, I feel like, where you do have the crispy top layer, but then you have the part of it, the layer that starts to meld with the more liquidy, where you have the semi-crunch.
If you told me this was like a lasagna, because I've had that before, like the Doritos, where you've layered them in between the ground beef, and it's more like a lasagna. And yes, super soggy crisp at that point. That feels more like a meal, and somehow this doesn't, because the chips are like a garnish on top, a little tiny.
Here's a question.
Garnish.
Right. It's a textural element. It's
it's integral. But maybe you could do both. Maybe you could have a layer in the middle and then a layer on top.
Or I would even consider putting a layer on the bottom, letting it super soggy and almost like a tamale.
Ooh.
Like a Frito tamale.
There
I've
you
been
go.
making homemade tortilla chips and tortillas at home, and so this is really struggling to go.
Sure, right, and I think there's always room with all of these recipes
to bouge up,
right? To bouge them up, to make them a little bit chefier. But I also think in this recipe there's an opportunity to make it even easier, because I don't know why you would saute your onions if you were using jarred salsa that have.
Well, I'm using a slap chopper. I don't need to saute them. Why, when I Google this, do I see black olives?
Because black olives were an additional ingredient for walking tacos.
Interesting.
And Google is also particularly awful these days.
But why? Also, like,
I think
why isn't there a can of corn? In
it
here?
has a lot to do with, I feel like,
I have questions.
yeah, like the taco salad, and that whole thing. Like, because taco salad kind of ties
Is it that
into-
somebody just had some black olives at some point and added it to this? Because black olives feel like they have no place in this flavor base.
Sure, I think some of this ties back into America and our evolution of cuisine and what we think of as international cuisine and things that are exotic go together regardless of if they go together.
As a nation, and I'm going to start with the we at some point soon, going to get that citizenship. But like it is that. There is something very liberating over here of like, sod it. Let's put them together. It might not be good. It's going to be edible. It might not be good. Black olives seem like a weird ad, but maybe not. But like the pickled jalapenos, I do like pickled jalapenos. I do like even those the orange jar of the banana ones. No, I do. Like there's like, do I want to eat a whole bunch of them? But I can see their place. Black olives just seems like a weird ad in these. There's a lot of like concasse on top. They definitely haven't peeled the tomatoes.
So when we're talking about black olives, just so you know, right? We're not talking about actual black olives.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about-
Yes, we're not talking about some Kalamata olives. on
No,
the top of
right,
this
right,
thing.
or oil cured
We're
Moroccan
talking
olives,
about
right?
number 10 cans with black olives.
Right, with
and
no pits in them, right? Just
So-
squishy,
Perfect.
salty thing.
It's-
But so if we're thinking about flavors, right, and flavors that sort of go, right?
briny.
Just adding something briny and salty and squishy.
It's kind of interesting. Like we've talked a lot about pizza over the last couple of like recordings that we've done, and it is interesting. This has never made its way because like pizza joints have lots of weird additional things, right? They've got cookie pies and these different things. They could have this.
Oh, so there was Mexican pizzas. In fact, one of the
No, not even as a pizza, but like you could go in and get a walking taco at a pizza
a
joint.
Frito pie because they have this stuff.
Like all of this
Sure,
stuff
it's done.
within
I'm
reason.
sure it's
Right.
done.
All of this stuff, other than maybe the chili.
You mean the central
exists.
ingredient?
Sure, they can open a can, but like I feel like they have all the other things to do
Yeah.
this, and I'm imagining you would
have
buy
the
that
number
as a
10
side.
cans of black olives.
You do have the number 10 can of black olives. You do have the cheese. You got the scallions. You've got the weird concasse
Jalapenos.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like you're really close to like
Yeah.
having some walking. It's interesting. It isn't out there as a food that you get anywhere other than the fair. Like it's probably the only place I've seen it is like at the Chelsea State grounds, and then I've seen it.
And weddings.
You got very bougie at weddings for a minute,
Yeah.
and they became very elaborate. Like we had
Sure.
ceviche walking tacos. Like it was like there was a whole myriad of different things people wanted to put on them.
What were were they still Fritos? in
They
the
were still
ceviche?
Fritos, and so some of it was that you would buy.
I can see that.
But you would get these custom bags made. I think I've said this already, but like the custom bag thing was just so difficult and expensive. Like the bags were like $1 something each, which
Right.
just became silly. But
I would
do
want
you-
fried plantains.
I've had them at barbecue restaurants
right,
before.
with the ceviche.
Yeah.
Fried plantains and
I've had it
plantains.
with barbecue restaurants. That would be really good.
Beans.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
This is why you keep me around.
Yeah.
You want some plantains? I've still got some in the fridge. You can take them on your way out the door. No, like I've had them at barbecue restaurants before that have done like we do in Chelsea. They do Thursday music nights in Chelsea, and so some of the local restaurants open up to do some food fair, street fair, and they've done walking tacos before like that. But other than that, you just don't see them like out there, and it's just kind of a surprise. Like you could probably have a chain that did this as a thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's correct. And also barbecue places make so much sense because you have all this extra beef that's or meat that's around, right? You take those
Yeah.
you take those scraps, you throw them together into a nice savory sauce. You're good to go.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
there
going to
you
look
go.
up if there's a walking taco restaurant chain. This will be my $3
Retirement project.
Yeah, retirement crazy good idea. It is interesting there isn't like a mass market because a lot of like pizza restaurants or fast food restaurants have kind of cottoned into something. I'm sure Taco Bell must have done it. Did Taco Bell ever do this?
Oh,
Never eaten at a Taco Bell.
good question. They used to be a client of mine. We've talked about this.
We have talked
right,
about
yeah.
this.
But it's not ringing a bell, but I sort of fell off the radar of the things that they were doing the last
We
20
need
years.
a truck.
We need a truck.
Yeah, a walking taco truck.
No, that I've probably seen. But like in a restaurant or like as a bar, that it's an option of something.
I feel like a walking taco needs a street cart a push cart, because then you're actually walking with the walking taco, selling the walking tacos while walking.
Yeah, this should
The
have been
walking
like a
Oaxacan
Mark's
taco?
version.
Oaxacan walking taco?
Yeah.
Right.
Walking taco restaurant. There is. There is some. There's a few out there. Now I'm finding them. But it's more like we do like tacos-ish things, and then we do walking tacos.
You could even put in your grated English farmstead cheddar.
Whoa, I feel uncomfortable. They've put it in a Chinese takeout box.
Oh.
Oh, I feel really weird about that.
Right.
That's very odd
Who
looking.
did this?
It's just, I Googled walking tacos and I've come across one in like literally the most generic takeout container.
Why would
Well, you're talking about, mixing cultures. I feel like there's an opportunity for a broader international fusion approach.
Well, again, you could do a lot of weird things with
Oh, yeah.
walking taco. Or, it's a it's food in a bag. Meal in a bag.
Add some crispy
Well, like-
Chinese noodles.
Well, like, sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. We're now 40 minutes in. See?
But then
It's
we
gonna
talked
happen.
about the local ones where they're adding Japanese peanuts.
Do you know what the British burrito is? Have you heard of the British burrito?
No, what's the British burrito?
Yeah, it's Yorkshire pudding, roast beef dinner, just rolled up.
Oh.
Giant Yorkshire pudding.
Oh.
And there's like a
Oh.
food truck that does it. It's out there.
That sounds fantastic.
And Tabitha, my business partner, saw it and said, "Do you want to do this?" And I kind of do. But the amount of effort just to make the wrap, as in the Yorkshire pudding,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
is
yeah.
immense. Like
Yeah.
making the perfect Yorkshire pudding, you could do that with, and it's a big flat popover basically.
Yeah.
And then you've got to do a whole roast beef dinner to then roll the whole thing. Seems insane to me, like that to me. But like I don't know. Like that seems like a very fun, easy restaurant to run, like a walking taco place.
Yeah, and I think having all the fun with it too. I'm thinking Kewpie mayo. I don't even know where the Kewpie mayo goes, but like
You got to
it's
get
another
me
good
in-
way of getting the MSG into
You've
it.
got to get me in the Kewpie mayo thing.
MSG.
Yeah, I know. You and me. I need to like sit down and have that experience with you because I'm not there.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm not like
Alright.
not there, but like it's not been a mayo in my shop. It's not. It's
Right.
never been anywhere I've ever been.
I
not
know.
regularly.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm
It's
sorry.
the Hellman's thing. I get it.
I know my people, but like it's interesting. Like there's lots of fish. There's lots of walking taco trucks, but there are no sit-down restaurants. So, and what I'm thinking is,
Because you don't walk when you sit down.
but like a hole in the wall Detroit walking taco restaurant.
Sure.
That would make sense.
Uh,
So when I think about this, I think of like Carl, who owns Biscuit Love down south,
Mm,
and he started as a biscuit food truck. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
yeah.
But then you're like, oh, we're going to turn this into a whole restaurant. You could totally do the same thing with the walking taco thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Coney place.
Yeah, yeah,
You come in, you have your quick.
I can't imagine. It would do so well in a college. I'm seriously, Ann Arbor with a
feel like-
walking taco
yeah,
place would
I-
do so
I
well.
feel like you would want like kind of like the road show. You know what I mean? Kind of like
Yes.
a drive up or walk up where you get the actual.
I'm not
original
just
walking
when I say a
taco.
restaurant, I just mean a permanent building.
But then
that's
you
serving it.
have a dine-in area where you serve it casserole style.
No. You get takeout casserole that's ready that you take home. It's ready.
No, the to-go is the bag.
To go's the bag that you literally can come up. So,
Yeah.
University of Michigan student, here's the Ann Arbor walking taco.
Mhm.
Somebody's going to take this. Somebody should take this. Somebody in our community should do this. And then you get the family style platter that you take back to watch the game with
Oh,
as
to-
the whole group.
Oh yeah, to the
Yeah.
door.
That's
Right.
I'm-
I need a snack. Here's my walking
I would
taco in
do
a bag. I need a.
I'm not
need
the
food for
right
a group.
nationality or have the. He would do so well.
You could put it where Pizza Cat Max went out of business.
Marcy, the road has to do some version of this.
I feel like it's in the Roadhouse's wheelhouse as American,
really-
as classic American
But
food.
you could make a really good ground because your anchovy beef chuck chili. You should not do it with that because don't mess with that thing. That
Oh,
thing's-
I think you should
No.
absolutely do
okay,
it with that.
but you should have a really good ground chili. And we have had so many chili. We have so many chili. I have so many chili. I kind of want to do this now, and I was not on board. And this could be imagine doing that at art fair.
Oh, at art fair.
Oh,
At art fair.
I think you need to. So
I'm doing
the-
picnics.
The art fair meeting is starting right now.
Is it really? Somebody listening, seriously, that would be a pretty, relatively easy, repeatable business that you could train people to do. You've really only got a couple of variants. I've got to prep fresh vegetables, and then I've got to make really good chili, and you can have a couple of really great chilies.
Is it weird though that I kind
People
of
would buy the
like
product.
I would want to make our own chips?
No, I would 100% make my own chips. 100%.
Like, and then you could sell them bagged by themselves.
Well, you would have a QD bag that it
Yeah.
comes in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because then I'm just going to my wedding business.
Yeah, I know.
This could be a good thing.
Yeah.
It is a good thing.
So
It's a great thing.
That's a really low cost to entry like foodie business that in any college town would do exceptionally well, and then you could genre it to wherever you are college town. So we talk about I get that I don't like Cincinnati chili, but wherever you went, there is that version.
Right.
Chili is an incredibly regional chili. You could have chili cook-offs to get the community out, and then the winner of the chili cook-off, we cook their chili Oh, this is a thing, guys.
As we learned, these businesses that start off in Southeast Michigan have an ability to go across
I
the world,
think
much like our pizza
You
chains.
just need to put together a
No,
traditional.
like this is a real like you could chain in a good way. Chain it without it being repeatable. It would be like, and in this college town, it's this type of chili. Sure, there's maybe your core chili, but then you've got your regional speciality.
Oh yeah, right.
Ooh, yes.
Right. And chili holds really well.
They make
Freezes
chips.
beautifully. Right.
Yeah.
Gets
But
better
you-
the longer it
You
sits.
you can make your own.
But then, like on
traditional
big game
Oaxacan-
days and
Oaxacan corn
graduations,
crisps.
big graduations, graduation day, game days. You got late night parties. They're getting the big
Yeah.
casserole things from you. That's your big ticket item. But then the rest of it is just walking tack.
Yeah.
I'm just.
You'll need some little containers for the sides, right?
I just
The
need a.
lettuces and the sour
How much you
creams.
wouldn't? You would just.
Little ramekins.
It's already exists on some format. You're just
Sure.
doing a different
Just
ingredient. It's
package it
basically
up.
like what's the rice bowl business? The
Chipotle?
Chipotle. It's
Right.
it's Chipotle with a bag of chips.
Right.
It is
Yeah,
on some reason, but you are not walking down the line. You come to the window and you tell me what you want. You get a little like scorecard, like a sushi card. You put your little crosses on the things you want. You hand it in and make your bag.
I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen a food truck that was like a shawarma walking taco place, but people would bring their own chips. Have you seen this one? It's somewhere on the TikToks.
Okay.
But
All right.
but people would bring their own chips, and the guy would open it up, and then he would fill it up with whatever the
See, you
scoops
I
of
don't
the
want to
meats
bring my
and-
own chips.
But see, you do so well with making your own chips that then you'd end up
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
bagging.
yeah.
You'd have some factory somewhere eventually make your chips and sell them.
Yeah.
Guys, that might be a thing. That could be a thing because then your chili would sell nationally, your chips would sell nationally, your homemade delicious sour cream would sell nationally.
You're gonna make your own sour cream.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, you would.
I would
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
make my own
yeah.
sour cream.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to the pop up here at Cornman Farm.
No, this is going to be the this could be
try, right?
this could be the funding for the Heartland Hot Dish podcast. This is how we pay for it all.
All right. Well, do we have an email address so people can
Episode
send
that I
you
wanted
VC
15
money?
minutes. I've now come up with a biz. I didn't. I did
I know.
not the silliest thing we've ever talked about on this podcast.
Are you
Somebody's
sure?
totally stealing this. What would be a cool name for this business?
Oaxacan.
Oaxacan
Whoa,
walking
wow.
tack.
Oaxacan
Well,
walking.
I feel like you would have to broaden it up because we're not just Oaxacan.
Because I want the original Oaxacan traditional recipe for the corn crisp.
I also still want the ceviche on the plantain chips.
Well, so why I kind of like this, I think I talked about this when we talked about potato chips before on the podcast. There was Salt and Shake. I think I've talked about this. There was a company in the UK. There's Walker's Chips is like Lay's over here. Walker's was like one of the originals, and there was another one called Salt and Shake, and you would get plain unseasoned chips in a bag. So you get individual packets. There was a pack of 12, and then it would come with little sachets like you get in your like ramen spice mix, and you would pick which one you wanted and shake it on your chips.
Oh, nice.
And so I like the idea like you could pick your own. Okay.
Customizations is good.
Maybe instead of walking, we just find a different word like ambulatory. Ambulatory tacos. Rolling with it tacos.
I love it.
All right.
Okay.
Right. How about all that in a bag of chips?
Running tacos.
All of that in a bag of chips.
Running
Yeah.
for your taco. Or running
That's
for your
not a terrible name. All of that with a bag of chips.
All that in a bag of chips.
All of that in a bag of chips.
All that in a bag of chips.
It would do well.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't exist. Like there's food trucks doing it, but no one's like nationally. You just want you want a potato chip company to get behind you, or not a potato. You want a chip company to get behind you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you did that and you had a branded chip from them,
Right. Also, I've got in the bag. There we go.
genius.
Well, we've gotten a little bit far off of our topic.
No,
but,
we haven't. This is where I wanted to
This
end.
is what it's all about.
This might be our
This is
best
the
episode
topic.
ever.
This is the topic.
Yeah, if you listen to this in the bag, we are buying the URL right now.
may not be available.
It
but-
may not. I'm
Right.
sure it's not available.
Hey, we can.
In the bag, URL.
It's in the bag.
Okay, all right.
Do we have any parting thoughts that we
No,
want
I'm
to
now
share?
Googling
it. We've abandoned the podcast entirely.
Okay, so I've never had this. I'm going to make this, or some version of the casserole and the walking. I think the thing for me is like, it's the chili becomes so important, and then the chip that I use. So I get this Fritos, and that's probably the OG.
Sure.
And Doritos has become a big contender in the same place.
Absolutely.
And who doesn't like Cool Ranch? You both looked at me so badly. Oh, that was amazing. So, like, what should it be? The chili? Like, is there a canned chili I should use, or should I just make my own ground?
You should make your own
I feel
chili.
like
Oh.
all of this should be make your own, 100%, because you're just going to try to make the best of it.
All right, we'll sod this. I will document my first draft of my chili,
Okay.
and I will put it on my. So we don't have the social medias up yet, but it's coming, right, Marcy? Look at her. Look at her. She's, she's not even going to say a word right now. So there is. This is not a promotion for me individually, but there is. I think it's Chef Kieran Hales. I think that's my Instagram handle. I'll post a hard post of a draft chili recipe for my first chili recipe and put it out there with a walk-in taco.
Oh, and as long as we're plugging our own social media
Do
handles,
it.
if anyone wants to find me or reach out to me, I am
Such a pretty picture of you recently.
Fussy Little Foods
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Also a great name.
Oh, thanks.
He's a really good namer of things. There's a picture of him. Are you tasting cheese?
I think it might. The one that I just did on Facebook.
Yeah.
that was tasting cheese. But I think the one that is I may be tasting coffee.
Okay. But Fussy Little Foods for sure. Marcy, who are you going to plug? What are you plugging now?
I feel like everything needs to be homemade, including you need to create your own diced tomatoes. Like
I'm using my slap chopper. Slap chopper, you can sponsor me.
Right,
Chef
that-
Kieran Hales,
right.
slap chopper.
slap chopper, diced.
What if
or
they sent me a
crushed
free
tomatoes.
slap chopper? I'd be so excited.
Well, I love the idea. Like, remember walking into Jamba Juice and seeing all of the blenders there? Jamba Juice.
Nice.
Jamba Juice was a smoothie chain, maybe still is. But you would walk in and you'd see all of the different blenders. But in your little restaurant, you could see all the little slap choppers. Oh, if you're slap chopping away.
Oh my God, they chop it to order! But that's what they do. They're like, they put like a wedge of onion and then they put a tomato. It's like, chut, and it's ready.
You could sell slap choppers
It's
there
kinda
as a
like
business.
Cold Stone
So what
Creamery, but you're mixing together all the
What I kind of like about this, and just so I did get to spend a couple of like 2 weeks in Oaxaca 2 years ago, and then I spent a week in Oaxaca last year. The ability to make really great moles or like chili bases in there, or to play with really good flavors in there. Not only could you have a mass market appeal thing, but you could introduce people to such better flavors of what chilies and spices could be in that without like losing your face cost-wise in there. But like the black mole that I made when I was out there is killer. It's delicious. It's life-changing.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like the salsas alone, like your own like adobo, chili salsa, or your own.
This dinner
like,
we just did, this
green.
Ecuadorian salsas that we were putting on top of all the different dishes, the dinner we just did out here. Any of those in that world.
Any of those, yeah. And then mole, and then you offer options for people, you know, to mix with your own canned diced tomatoes. Chef Kieran's diced tomatoes that you've chopped.
Fussy Little Foods.
Yeah.
Chef Kieran Hales, are you going to post a chili recipe?
You know, I could.
He's going to post a chili recipe. I'm going to post a chili recipe within 7 days of this being up.
I am
All right,
Marcy.
I'll tell you when it is.
Marcy who?
Are you going to post one?
I'm going to post a Cincinnati chili.
Oh my God! So don't listen. I'm gonna like bleep out when she says what her handle is. That you don't have to find that.
Marcy Hoop.
Okay. Why don't we all post our own little chili recipe? Would be really cool.
Okay.
I'm down for that. Like you got to what the spice mix is with a reason, and it's got to be in grams.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I made your pancake mix, by the way, this morning.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Don't over mix is the game. If you ever use it, like it's like a gentle
It was-
fold, and then like
it was
then they're
nice.
super fluffy.
Super fluff.
Because you can overbeat pancake mix in there. Sorry, now I've drifted. Ooh, okay. This has been fun. We have entered the realm of just about an hour of talking about walking tacos and taco casserole. I guess the thing for me is, what chip should I go buy?
No, you make your own.
No. But I need to buy one to try one.
You should buy the Fritos.
Fritos,
Yeah.
reggae,
The
reggae
straight up Fritos.
Straight
Okay.
up Oaxacan.
Yeah.
And then I'll use some Macianda dough. I'll make some dough, and then I'll make my own chips from that to do the in-house. Because that'll be a nice experience that maybe Joni, my wife, will eat with me and my kids. Well, Henry might eat it. Owen won't. But then we'll make our own chili. Are we staying only in the beef? And are we going to stay in the ground beef, or are we going to go in?
No,
You can do what you want.
Oh, yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah, totally.
Freedom!
Yeah, right. Chili is all about self-expression.
All right, so
Right.
three of us. Are you, Marcy, you going to put a chili recipe up other than Cincinnati chili? Or are you really doing Cincinnati chili?
Let her do Cincinnati chili. It needs a spot.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, my lovelies. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much, my lovelies, for tuning in and listening to today's episode of the Heartland Hot Dish podcast. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more listeners just like you. Until next time, keep savoring the flavors of the Heartland and sharing the love for this vibrant community. Take care and stay connected.